Hey, it's a special session of the intuitive reading from May 24th to the 30th. Let's start the reading. Okay, we're going to wonder is what comes first. And it's as though our energy is split. So it feels like we won't be able to put our finger on things and we might have some frustration, sorry, but this sense of how does this work or how is this going to go together? And it is ultimately the position of trust and letting go so that things can fill in for you, but knowing what you want. This isn't the extent of manifestation in the way of, oh, it needs to be a certain way or I have to be so perfect with it. It's more the true manifestation of the sense that you're already there. So what I'll suggest to you is this energy is suggesting that we get really calm, really emotionally, I'm going to say available to the flexibility of knowing who we are. So if we're feeling anxious, we need to drop the anxiety. If we're feeling frustrated, we might have to deal with that a little bit and address, what is it? It could be best to do that by just observing it, just knowing that it's there and saying, okay, I see you, and having compassion. I mean, we know ultimately it's no surprise we're going from our head to our heart. But for some of us, this is not an easy journey. And it's not that it's so hard, it's more the letting go and trusting, because for many of us that are listening to this, we've had to do things on our own and we've kind of been on our own. And while there's support and we're learning to ask for support, it's going to come in different ways that are going to maybe challenge that inside. Like, will you ask for support in this way? Will you do this? Will you believe in yourself? Can you override that? Can you change that situation? Are these cool lights behind me? Oh, okay. I'll move over a little bit. So take a look at that in your life. If you're feeling emotional, know that that's part of the process of where we're coming through, right? And allow the feelings to be there. Don't judge them. Don't force them. Be with them. Let's take a deeper look and see what else is there. It comes loud and clear, like the banging of a drum. Ground yourself, ground yourself, ground yourself. And I'm not fond of that term, actually. So I think of it as just being centered, like that we're in our power and we're operating to be in our power at all moments, because our power is more powerful than being just grounded, I think. But it's this idea that we can be in our body. And for some of us, that might be really hard. That might be a challenge to want to be in our body, but be in our body and let go into that. And the reasons for not being in our body can be fear. That's really the main reason, or shame, or fear of shame, these pieces. So be open to looking at that in yourself. What is the piece that's there? What is that about? Okay. And we've seen this one a lot. It's about self-governance. And it's this gentle, almost as though it's a filter to say the ebb and flow of how that self-governance works. So you might filter through instead of, I'm going to govern this, I'm going to take action, I'm going to do that this way. It might be instead this more mild unfolding and sensing and seeing, right? How does that work for me? And it says build a chasm, which I think is a big crevice to have to, surpass. And that's what you'll experience. But if you build a bridge, or you build it so that it's easy, and that would be this being emotionally and mentally letting go and being emotionally with oneself. So some people might call that present, but I really think of it as being with yourself. You're with yourself. You know who you are. You know what you want. And to some degree, we're going to know that, even though there's this conflict at the beginning of the energy that I read, it said we're going to feel unsure. And these pieces are strengthening us to feel assured, to feel self-assured, so that we don't know, but we're just simply making the choice and doing it because that's the best that we do know in this moment. And the universe is seeing that. And what it's doing is it's helping us learn and cultivate how to navigate our worlds emotionally. Because what I see in the future is we won't be emotional at all. We'll actually be expanding and expressing, and we'll become less to non-emotional in a good way. I mean, we'll be excited and have this to a little bit, but it will be quickly moving in and out. We won't hang on to those feelings because that's what we're undoing right now. And our truth as a human is fluidity within emotion and quick fluidity, right? Where we don't get stuck. And right now that's the deal, is we're getting stuck in emotion because we weren't allowed emotion. We were told, don't cry, don't do that. All those things triggered us and caused a problem. Okay, let's take a deeper look. And you might question some primary base things like, how did I get here? Meaning some of us might say, how did I get here into this family? Or how did I get here to this place that I am right now? I know there are a lot of women in the age group of probably 45 to 65 who are questioning what happened. Like everything kind of blew apart. And I think the truth of it is we're the ones who are finding the way forward. I was going to say wayfinding, but finding that way forward for humanity, because we're in a situation where we have cause to do that. And it's not that we were oppressed, even though, yeah, there was that, or we're a victim, but yeah, that was there too. It's not that we're identifying with that wholly. It's that we have these pieces that are like, this doesn't make sense. This isn't, there's more to this, right? And because of that, we're evolving into it and leading the way forward into what is next. What is the way that humanity can do it differently? Okay. And it says, garner your power. This would mean breaking free of the two forms of control and coming into our power, which is in the middle of those two forms of control. And that's why this system, the model, is constantly an issue, is it's constantly vying for one form of control or the other. And because of that swinging and that movement, that pendulum, we don't end up in this situation, rather, of being in our power in the middle. And that's what we're dropping, is all forms of control. We're looking at, how do I surrender to myself and love myself? And what does that look like? Does that mean that I'm not going to, this is going to sound kind of harsh, but care about that other situation? I'm not going to engage with it. It's not for me. These could be important moments during this week to recognize who we can and can't be and what is and isn't working for us, right? That's important. We, particularly as women between those ages that I mentioned, 45 and 65, we've been scrapping, right? There are a lot of birds behind me. We've been really operating to hold things up and be who we can't be. And it's not that we did it because we, wanted validation or so on. We did it to survive. We did it because the system and the model said that's how it works. And so that's how we did it, right? And now we're saying, set that down. It doesn't work that way. Okay. And it shows almost a piece of like flarp. If you know what that is, it's not Play-Doh, but it's made out of, I think, cornstarch and something else that becomes this really sticky goo, and it's mold it, play with it, shape it, but more so just play with it and have fun with it and see where that takes you. And that's the importance of this week that we're talking about, is it is about bringing playfulness back, laughing, having fun, enjoying, and that cultivates something different for us, right? And I know that can be challenging when you have a lot of things going on, or you have younger children, or, but the idea is be playful with them, be playful while you make school sandwiches, or be playful if you can get into that versus just getting it done. We want to express ourselves, and expression comes through playfulness. It comes through curiosity, it comes through those components. And then there's stop and take a minute to see yourself. Great time to meditate. Maybe midweek you spend an hour meditating, or 5 minutes in the car just being completely quiet by yourself without the music on, without anything going on, and hang in that energy to be with yourself. It's about self-love. It's about coming back. It's about coming in. It's about being with you. in that short spurt, or if you can longer. I mean, it'd be great to meditate for an hour. And if you're struggling to, resisting, like, I need to get up and get this done, breathe. Breathe into the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 6 or 7. The longer breath out will calm your nervous system down. And if I've seen anything for this year, digestion, upper shoulders, thinking too much, and heart, as well as that digestion because of the thinking too much, are really things that are up right now. So if you've had any symptoms around shoulder pain or back shoulder blade pain, or even a little bit of headachy on and off, or your digestion's been off, these are all things that seem normal in this energy because we're processing through that. We're working through it, moving forward. So go easy on yourself, that your body, I say it this way for myself, my body is moving through that experience to move out of it, meaning we might even be reconciling old illnesses that we've had or so on. We don't even need to know. It's just simply feeling it or sensing it, acknowledging, like, I see you, and letting it flow away. Okay, let's take a look deeper here and see what else is there. Oh, this is a big one. We're going to want to chunk it together is what it says. And it's as though it's making it efficient. Like, okay, well, I have all these ideas, but I'll put them all together and that'll work. And actually, the thing that's coming up is to do one thing, get my hand on the screen, one thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. It is a process of moving through, and it's possible you'll do all of those things. It's just maybe not all at once. So just do one thing, start it, get into it, move through it, and the next thing will come. Get into that, move through it, and the next thing will come. Keep going that way. And it could be a time where we're mentally a little bit, wow, I can't remember all these things, or I have all these things, all these ideas. You can write them down, but you also can ask for them to resurface when they're ready. So if you know all this lineup of things you want to do, and then you get to the first one, you forget what the second one was, say, what is the next one? And let the universe fill it in. I ask for that sometimes. Even last night, I asked for clarity and inspiration and passion to come forward. And this morning, I woke up with a word, which is the name of a town. Well, it's a little borough in a town. And I thought, weird, what's that about? What's happening there? But it kind of makes some sense, right? A little bit more sense. It's actually a town that's highly intuitive. It's in Spain. And I think that's why it was coming up, is the intuition is there. And that's important. So pay attention to those little messages. Go look online, see what comes up for you when the message comes, see if you can decode it and understand what you're being asked to do. Okay, let's see what else. Hey, I paused it a second because I needed to make a cup of tea. So here it is. And I changed directions, so we're seeing the forest. Okay, let's keep taking a look here and see what the energy holds. There's that abstraction. You aren't going to get there from here, meaning it's not a traditional way, or it's an unconventional way of thinking that's going to move us to where we're headed. So it's not from point A to point B. It might be point A to point C to point A to point B. And we want to be open to that way of being, especially when we were talking about emotion. We want to operate so that we're thinking not about the frustration of what that means, but more the opportunity within it. Okay, what did I need to know then again from A? We don't need to lament in our mind, but simply be with this is, this is the possibility of it, or better yet, sense it. What is my sense about going back to A? I'm not going back to square one. There's something there that must move me on to the next, right? We want to stay in that more positive frame of mind and the opportunity within what's possible versus getting into this isn't working. Because when we think it isn't working, it's because we're thinking it's happening from our mind, not through sense. And that's the problem. Okay, let's take a deeper look here. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Let's see what else is there. Oh, that's good. Again, we come back to wondering how we got here. Now, this feels like, how did we get here in this moment, right? How did we get here? in this time and place, not necessarily why are things working this way, which is what the last one felt like. It's more specific to who we actually are, not what society is doing. So we're looking at that. What does that mean? How do we feel about it? What is our sense again? And that might be this week's tendency is moving from mental to sense. What is our sense? How do we meet that in that way so that we can make it true? I guess it would be really the way to say it. It's like when we sense it, we know. And when we're thinking it, we think we know, but we don't know. And that's the difference between knowing and really being not in what people say is their truth. They're still under the guise of dysfunction when they think that they know because they're thinking. But when we know something's wrong or this isn't right, that's as much as we need to know. And we can just simply move forward from that. This is pretty powerful. Okay, let's keep going. And then it says it again. You're going to wonder how you got here. And then it takes it a step deeper, as though there's a different level at which we're going to go to. And it's going to rock our assuredness. It might feel like this instability of, I don't know. I don't have the answers. I feel like I should have the answers. I should know because I'm sensing. I trusted it at this point, but now I don't know for sure. And we want to be aware of that discomfort because it feels as though if we sit in it a minute, we hang with the discomfort, it will move through like that. But if we resist the discomfort, thinking we did something wrong, which is part of the model, we're going to struggle. We're going to have a hard time. And you're reinventing a part of yourself. It's a part of yourself that's already there. You had it as a child. Oh, this is really feeling very good. It's really good. You had this part of yourself as a child, and this part is looking to reinvigorate. So if that's the question for the week, that's the one to write down and remember in the morning and at night. How do I reinvigorate that inner child? Her voice, her choices, the way she is. How do I do that so that I can connect with her on a deeper level and let her express? No shame, no fear, just let her express. It's powerful. Okay. It's very powerful. And it's the words there after that are let her out or let them out. If you're not a female or you're non-binary, let them out. Let that part of you forward, even if it's embarrassing or challenging. It was probably the coolest part of us. In the truth of it, in the scheme of it, it's probably the coolest part of us. Yeah. And the next words are surrender to yourself. This is a way that we are looking at how do we let go into who we are. It's like not just the inner child, it's the wholeness of us. And it feels more esoteric. It feels more, I don't know how we do that, but we just do it. We just allow that to take shape and let the universe take care of it. And that can be hard for people who don't trust. There are a lot of us that struggle to trust, and for rightful reasons, for a lot of rightful reasons. Taking it in, letting it go. You're okay. You're okay. Yeah, you are. Okay. And it's time now on the boat, on the river, to flow with the water and not paddle down with the water. We don't need to go at twice the pace. We don't need to be fast and crazy and making it happen. We need to let go into knowing what we want and allowing it. And I know I'm going to just say this for my personal life because maybe you're in the same situation, because if you're attracted to my work, maybe you are. But I'm not playing big enough, right? I'm not playing big enough. And I see that through a whole bunch of trip ups in my experience. And I don't have all the information. I know what I want to some degree, but feeling like I'm already there can be a little confusing because I don't see the full picture of it. Right? So I'm operating to feel and sense I'm already there. I already know that that's who I am and what's happening, right? So think about that, or maybe not think, but get with that and see if you can expand on that. How would you feel when you have the thing you're yearning for? Neutrally. It's already there. That money that you're looking for, if it were already there and everything was taken care of and you felt, I feel fine. Feeling like that, that's powerful. And that's powerful during this week. Okay, let's take a look. Interesting. It's going to get a bit uncomfortable. Is we're undermining and unearthing and all of this. It's un things that are not serving, things that are not aligned to where we're headed. And that can get uncomfortable because we want to get along. We want it to work out, but we're starting to see, and we have been in this energy, to see what isn't working and the past and how it was not right for us. And now we're moving into our future, and that's helping us assert preference of what is right for us, what is okay for us, and what works for us. Okay. So it might get uncomfortable with things that are plucking up. It's like they're unrooting. And maybe in some lives that haven't addressed the thing, it will be big things that come up. Maybe in other lives, it will just be shifts and changes that are uncomfortable, but are possibilities, right? They are possibilities. Okay. It says, welcome it. Welcome that experience of what changes into your heart, into your body and your mind. Don't resist it. And for some of us, these might be things we want to really resist. It's shame or fear or things that make us uncomfortable. And we can think about it as these are just the growth steps. And again, surrender to yourself. And then there's a wild world out there, a world that's yours, a world that's mine, a world that belongs to us. And we haven't had that world in all the ways that it is. We haven't had access to it in some way. That doesn't feel quite right. It's like we haven't had the sweetness of it in a way that really fills us up. And we may have thought that we did at points because we earned enough, or we had a child and we love that child, and there's sweet things that happened. But in a total way, there's a change coming where we will see ourselves in a new light. And that new light is what makes the sweetness come. It's what makes this more beautiful, more powerful. Our human experience is built upon in a way that really roars, really rocks, and we feel ample and equal to it. One of the things I've been exploring is many people say to me, I feel so insecure in my job. I don't think I'm doing a good enough job. I don't know if they like me. Everybody says this. And I think, what type of a work environment are we creating in our world where that's how we feel? Whether I'm in this country or that country, everybody is saying that they feel insecure. And that has to change. And that has to do all about the work environment. That's not you. That's how the work environment is making you feel. That's how the manager is lacking skills to help you feel secure and safe, which is a family type situation. And that's an important one, right? We have to feel safe in order to really shine. So consider that. We're taking that in this week of how do we recognize we are worthy, we are ample, we are capable in all the ways. And truly, everybody I talk to secretly is like, I just don't feel secure at work. I don't feel like I'm good enough. It's awful that this is the way humanity's been living. Those are some of the things that are going to break apart. And we're going to start to see it's not me. It's the environment, or it's this manager, and it's not about them. It's more, I need to move into a place that really fits me, or I see it now and I don't care, which is really powerful. Hot and heavy stuff happening. I thought 2026 would be a little more mild. Seems like it's coming in kind of hot, this fire horse. Okay, let's keep going here. Mm. And we might feel this tension of wondering how we're going to get there. And we're thinking collectively. And that might bother us even more if we feel collective energy, is how do we get there? And we might feel the weight of the world on our shoulders, that that's our responsibility to take care of it. And it's not. So we want to take that to our singular self and say, how do I get there? And if I can get there, I either can show others how to get there, or I will be there. And then that's an example in our world of somebody that moved through and out of what I call the model and into what is a more true human expression and experience. All right, I'm going to stop this one here. That's what feels natural and right for us. So I hope that this reading has served you and given you some support and information that you can use to navigate something that might feel kind of tricky at points during this week of, self-questioning and wondering if the burden of energy or emotion or how to navigate that so that you really come back to yourself. That's what I want for you, is that you come back to yourself fully. All right, if you liked this, share it, comment, follow, do all the things so that it propagates, because who knows who this will serve. And these are the ways that we're going to change our world, is by sharing what my unique expression is. This is it. So please share. Thanks so much.